Jim, thank you for having us out today to your
Not at all.
beautiful studio. So how long have you been based out in the studio for?
Oh, 30 years. I moved out here, I think, in 86. And myself and my kids sort of all crammed ourselves in here. And the dog slept in the bath, a big Doberman.
Nice.
And, it's been all downhill since.
Good place to be in though, it's beautiful.
That's fine. Yeah.
So just in reference to the piece that we have kind of behind us as well, recently you started, you're doing some pieces for the Reclaim 1916.
Yeah, Bobby Ball asked me to get involved. He's the sort of chairman, or whatever we call him.
Yeah.
Chairman Bobby. And I'm one of the patrons. Along with a lot of people like Brian Friel, Stephen Ray, and the whole gang of people, you know what I mean?
And this came about, I believe, I read an article recently, well, obviously due to the quite shocking video that the government released.
Yes.
And didn't even put in anything about the rising, or didn't mention any of the leaders of the proclamation or anything. So
well,
you
I was
guys
quite
are
complacent about it. I intended doing, to commemorate the rising, I intended doing an image of Pearse and Connolly, because they're both sides of the same coin.
Yeah.
One the nationalist, one the socialist. And when that thing came out, I remember thinking, God, they really are serious.
They're
they
shocking.
really are going to, you know, manipulate our history, have a nice bit of revisionism, and then we had that clown, John, I always get his name wrong, Bruton, coming out and saying, sure, we didn't need a rising at all, the Brits would have given us our freedom, you know, we'd have home rule, go on out of that, and all this stuff, while they collect my pension in Brussels, and the taxpayers one as well for my multiple ministries. And I was listening to this clown, you know, who brought down the government over putting tax on children's footwear, lecturing us about 1916.
About our heritage, essentially, and it's,
And then we hear more from the government of the same ilk from the different ministers, and I'm going like, oh, and then they're sort of having this thing like, oh, we have to have inclusivity. I tell you what, I gave them a good idea for inclusivity. I wrote to them saying, you know, I know a lot of the relatives of and descendants of the executed leaders, like James Connolly Hearn, someone I played football with, and is now involved in Reclaim 1916. So I suggested that in the interest of reconciliation and inclusivity, we could invite them all to Arbor Hill, line them up against the wall where their grandfathers were all shot, and, you know, we could bring over the relatives of the executioners, and we could have real bullets. Do you know what I mean?
I'd say that went down really well.
Yeah. No, I didn't like it much. Yeah.
Oh dear.
But it was deliberately provocative. I thought, what are they doing? Now they've made one good move to give them credit. They have saved Moore Street, the 4 buildings. The rest
I saw
of
that.
them
I
all,
actually did the 1916 tour recently, and they mentioned that.
So something good has come out of that, and they've kind of acknowledged that the relatives have a role. But they're still back at, you know, we want to commemorate this along with Gallipoli. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Commemorate Gallipoli. Plenty of my mother's friends were all Empire bloody loyalists, so I knew plenty of those people, very fine people. But they had nothing to do with 1916. They were away fighting Johnny Turk. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For whatever obscure reasons, you know.
Well, at least thankfully we have people like you, and as you said, Bobby, taking this into your own hands and actually making these fantastic, beautiful
Bobby set
pieces.
up the initiative, and Bobby always takes the initiative in things like this. How he does, because we're both getting on a bit, and then of course I join
not
in
yet,
as well.
Jim. Not yet.
And you know, there's no politicals involved in the sense that Sinn Féin are not behind us or anything like that. There's no political parties. It's deliberately apolitical, but very political. If you know what I mean. But no, I think it's high time we pay due deference to these people. The other problem I had, which cuts across everything that Bobby would believe in, for instance, so I'm not speaking for him or in Claim 1916, but I felt the 35-year war up there was an atrocity. Shouldn't have happened. And that's another reason I want to reclaim, you might say, our heritage, as opposed to the inclusivity by adding in all the people who died during the Northern War, you know. And, you know, I'd be here for the rest of my days to commemorate all of them, especially the innocents. So, to me, these men who died in 1916 are heroes who died for our liberation and salvation. The Constitution they wrote, that all citizens, including women, are equal, we still haven't implemented that 100 years later.
Unfortunately, I think the world has implemented that.
Women still don't have rights over their own bodies. It's extraordinary. And it says to cherish all of the children of the nation equally. Yeah, we cherish the rich kids. That's about it, you know. Anyway, don't want to give you a lecture.
No, please.
You can see where 1916...
I can listen to you talk all day,
You can see where Reclaim 1916 is coming from,
So we'll go back a bit now. You're obviously more well known for your print of Che Guevara.
Sure.
You first met him in, was it 1961?
1961 in Kilkee.
You were 16,
I was
17?
sent down there by, I was educated by Franciscans. I'm still a ferocious fan of the Franciscans. They're the ones who invented liberation theology, don't forget, which liberated all of Latin America now, using the ideals of Che Guevara and mixing them in with Catholic teaching, which is correct. And I knew instantly who he was because I was a very political animal. I was only 15 or 16.
That's incredible.
And I'd been sent down by the Franciscans to earn money because they wouldn't take it from our family, from any family. We all had to earn our own money for a pilgrimage to Rome.
Okay.
Couldn't make it up. In the end, I spent the money on a bicycle. I didn't go to Rome. I got the flashiest sports bike you've ever seen. But I met Che Guevara. He walked into the bar. I knew who he was. I was kind of gobsmacked because my previous touch with fame and eccentricity, and my previous contact had been Richard Harris and his brother Dermot.
That's still pretty good,
and
though.
That other guy, Jack, who used to run the Westbury, whose name's gone out of my head, very nice man. So, now Richard Harris wasn't as famous as he became later with Camelot, but he was a well-known character.
And Dumbledore and Harry Potter for people who might not know,
But he was just a live wire. And I always remember he was a great tipper, and Dermot was a great tipper. I remember too, Che Guevara didn't leave any tips, but there you go. I think he owes me something.
Yeah. And then, of course, you're very well known for the artwork you did for Phil Lynott and Sinead O'Connor. And you met Phil Lynott, I believe, in the Bailey for the first time.
Yeah, it's
Bailey
funny.
crowd.
I published a lot. For years I published a story about myself and Philip meeting with Peter Fallon, the poet, and Tom Collins, the photographer.
Yeah.
Because it's well documented. Even a film was on the other night on RTE about the Irish poets. And they went back to the 60s, and there's the picture of myself, Philip, and the whole gang, a couple of them, because Peter Fallon, obviously being a fine poet, was included in this programme. But no, Frank Murray, who's a great mate of mine, I was talking to him earlier on today about something else entirely, rang me and said, Jim, you have a great memory for detail, but you got the facts wrong here. And I go, no, I haven't, of course I haven't. He said, I was with you when you met Philip. And I thought, oh Christ, I remember. But Frank was the one who flew over with Philip.
Okay.
Got Philip to meet me, because Philip had only seen me, or we kind of run into each other at poetry readings and stuff that we used to do at Tara Telephone, another Peter Fallon thing with Eamon Carr and a couple of others. And Philip just took to me and decided he wanted me to do all his artwork, because Tim Booth, who he originally wanted, and Tim is a mutual friend of ours, is a superb artist still, and a very fine contemporary artist in his time as well, kind of neglected, I feel. But Tim had formed a group called Dr. Strangely Strange, who were signed by Island Records. Tim's first album cover was done by Roger Dean, one of my heroes and a friend of mine as well. But because Tim was with Dr. Strangely Strange, he'd done the first Lizzy logo, that kind of Cadillac thing, that I reused with his permission. He drew it up for me and I redrew it. And he hadn't time to do any artwork, so that suited me fine. Thank you, Tim.
So that worked out well for everyone.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.